This is the message of the gospel, that Yahweh, God, was born as a baby, lived a sinless life, died on a cross, rose from the dead, and is coming again. And the hope of this story is that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. But so many have never heard that story, have never had it explained to them in such a way that they can understand and believe. They are the neighbors across the fence, the co-workers at your office, the kids in Little League, the homeless and hurting in our city, the orphans in Mexico, the hungry in Panama, the unreached people groups of East Asia. From our neighborhoods to the nations, they simply don't know the good news. And who will tell them? Romans 10:14 and 15 say, "How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things." And that is why Lavon Drive exists, to glorify God and to take glad tidings, to take the gospel across the street and around the world so that the hope of salvation might be proclaimed from neighborhoods to nations. God is already at work at Lavon Drive Baptist Church, using this ministry and the missionaries it supports to fulfill His purpose in our world. At this year's Global Impact Celebration, we rejoice at the victories won, honor those who have served, and submit ourselves to God's will for the future. But we begin by celebrating the work of our ministries right here, starting with the children's ministry. We are committed to connecting kids to Christ and developing devoted disciples to love God and build His kingdom. Also serving our children are the faculty and staff at Garland Christian Academy. Our real-life student ministry not only builds on the foundation of discipleship laid by our children's ministries, but is diligent in connecting with unbelieving teens and leading them to Christ. Our bus ministry reaches out to those in economically depressed areas of our community, providing free transportation to hundreds of children and adults every Sunday so that they can hear the good news of Jesus Christ. Numerous niche ministries are reaching out to our Jerusalem, living out Christ's love in an intentional way. The pro-life outreach connects with women considering abortion and lovingly points them to alternatives that preserve life while sharing with them the love of Jesus. One of our newest ministries volunteers monthly at the North Texas Food Bank, helping to supply nourishment to the needy in our community. Through the DART outreach, participants strike up conversations with riders on the Dallas area rapid transit system and share with them the gospel. Dozens of people make professions of faith as a result of this ministry every year. From our neighborhoods, we now move to the nations. This year, dozens of our people left the city limits and security of suburbia for trips to the mission field. There, we got just a little taste of what our full-time missionaries experience every day. And speaking of missionaries, this week we are so excited to welcome an incredible group of missionaries to our Global Impact Celebration. Lavon Drive family, it is now time to introduce our 2015 GIC missionary guests. We begin with C.D. and Chloe Smith and their daughter Felicity Dawn. The Smiths are on deputation preparing to serve God in the Republic of Palau in Micronesia. Both are children of Christian parents and have been involved in ministry since childhood. They attended Pensacola Christian College and through the influence of another missionary had their hearts burdened about the opportunity to reach the many different tribes and nations in Micronesia. Next are John and Lindsay Diedrich and daughter Hadley. John is the grandson of Dr. and Mrs. Lyons, and the Diedrichs represent the ministry of reaching and teaching. This is a ministry which seeks to train national pastors. For every 450,000 people outside the United States, there is only one formally trained Christian leader. There is a global need for training national Christian leaders to reach their own people as the world changes and it becomes more difficult for American missionaries to enter and stay in some countries. Now let's meet Jeremy and Carissa Lynn and their 3 kids, Juliana, Jayla, and Jacob. The Lynns are church planters in the country of Ethiopia. They work closely with other missionary couples already established in Ethiopia, which had been closed to the gospel until just recently. How long the opportunity will exist for missionaries to enter and minister is unknown. It is a country plagued by civil war, famine, disease, and religious oppression. Pray for the Lynns as they seek to plant the hope of the gospel in the hearts of the people of Ethiopia. Coming up next are Matt and Flor Patton. The Pattons currently serve as missionaries in the Dominican Republic. Matt is from Carrollton, and his wife, who we met in Mexico during a summer mission trip, is from Saltillo, Mexico. They were married in 2002 and have 3 boys. For the last 8 years, they have served the Lord in the Dominican Republic as church planting missionaries. Now let's meet Katie Rankin. Katie is 24 years old and has been involved in missions for a long time. She has done work in Mexico, Brazil, Nigeria, Ukraine, and among the Navajo Nation in New Mexico. Katie has been approved by the World Baptist Fellowship as a missionary assistant and will be spending time on different mission fields helping missionaries. Her first term will be in the country of Ukraine. Now we greet Kyle and Hannah Shreve. The Shreve Sending Church is Vision Baptist Church in Alpharetta, Georgia. Having completed the necessary training, they are on deputation, planning to serve the Lord in the country of Peru as church planters. Peru has 31 million people, and the majority are unreached with the truth of the gospel. While there are some gospel-preaching churches there, many are weak and unable to reproduce themselves in other parts of Peru. It is their vision to help plant healthy churches and train national leaders. We come now to our final guest missionaries, Dr. Greg and Linda Waller and son Timothy. The Wallers have been part of our missionary family for a number of years. Greg is a medical doctor and his wife Linda is a nurse. Using their medical training, they conduct medical mission trips to various parts of the world. The trips are always accompanied with an organized plan to present the gospel to the patients who come for treatment. Thousands have been reached for the Lord through their years of service on the field. Lavon Drive, these missionaries will tell you they're just ordinary people following God's extraordinary plan for their lives. But they have sacrificed much and are worthy of great honor. So let's show them right now how much we appreciate them. Let's give it up for our 2015 GIC missionary guests.